Welcome to Sandia Casino, Albuquerque, New Mexico, for the Fall Classic of the Women's Professional Billiard Association, presented by the Sardo Tight Rack. Let's meet the players. Player number 1 from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, currently ranked number 7 in the world. Bring her in, if you would, Miss Ava Mataya Lawrence. And her opponent, currently ranked number 4, former national champion, player of the year, the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee.
Well, they come in with a little glitz and glamour, don't they? This is our first semifinal. It's a race to 7, a possible 13 games out there, and look at Jeanette milking it for everything she can. Doesn't look too uncomfortable at all. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Jim Weich, and sat beside me herself, a touring professional, Don Hopkins. And Don, we've got the best seat in the house.
We sure do. This is a great view up here.
And the all-important lag. It looks like Ava has won that hands down. And let's see how Ava Mataya Lawrence made her way through to this televised semifinal. She defeated Eileen Pippin 9-6, and then Julie Kelly by the same score 9-6, and then lost to Allison Fisher 9-3. So that was a one-sided loss there. But then she came back to beat Gerda Hofstetter by the same score 9-3. Vivian Villarreal 9-3, and then finally Lori John Jones, a close one, 9-7. And Jeanette Lee, her path through here to the semifinals, she defeated Cassie Anderson 9-3, and then Tiffany Nelson 9-2, and she lost to Lori John Jones 9-7. I watched that match. That was a terrific match. And defeated Lena Jorsvik 9-2, and Laura Smith 9-5, and then Elena Tornfeld 9-4. Both these players are certainly in good nick.
Well, Ava has a good advantage here. She has control right away of the table, which is a good thing.
A very controlled break, and the break-off is huge in 9-ball pool if you don't know it.
Well, she pocketed a ball, but it's quite messy here. She's got the 1 up here, and the 2 is way down the other end of the table. So that's the first obstacle. But you can see here, the 3, the 6, and the 9 are also bunched up. So this game is really going to be a tough first game. It's going to be a lot of thought process going on here.
Yes, I like to say this doesn't look like it's going to be a one-visit win. And she's going to have to pull a little magic out here. I don't know if she's on that 2.
Well, I don't know. It's close. I don't think that she could see the 2 enough to pocket it. She certainly can kick 1 rail back behind the 2. And if she hits the left side of the 2, maybe make it, but then she doesn't have anything on the 3 anyway, so it's a really tough spot here.
And sometimes discretion, the better part of valor in this game.
Yeah, and that, well, I guess she could see straight ahead. Look
out.
Oh, bad break.
She's tried to develop the 3 there, Don, and unlucky, it has to be said. Now she's given cue ball in hand to Jeanette Lee, and at this level, that's fraught with danger, isn't it? Well, Jeanette's had as many as 8 back operations, and earlier I had a chance to catch up to her and talk to her about it.
It's been a really hard recovery. I think the thing that works on you the most is confidence. But right now I've been working a lot with the new trainer, Bob Carmen, and I've spent some time with Jerry Bryseth, who's known as a coach in billiards, and I went out about a week before the World Games and spent a lot of time, and I think it's done wonders for my game. I'm feeling a lot more confident than ever before.
This is the opening rack, the opening game of a race to 7. And how important would this be for Jeanette Lee to secure it on 3 fouls?
Ooh, that is even tougher. This is going to be really tough.
Well, she's on 3 fouls. Tournament director Steve Tipton has just told her, so if Ava doesn't contact this 3 now, it'll be loss of game to Jeanette Lee.
Right, because she has 2 fouls already. So Steve said, you're on 2, and now this would be the 3rd if she doesn't hit it. And Jeanette, by pushing the 3 ball back into the 9 and the 6, it really makes it extremely hard to hit. She only has 1 part of the 3 that she can hit.
Foul.
That was never going to be easy. Ava Mataya Lawrence loses the opening game to Jeanette Lee, and she'll certainly try and come back and set that right. The WPBA Fall Classic is brought to you by Brunswick Billiards. Since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. And by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league. And by the WPBA. Enter the world of women's professional pool. Visit WPBA.com. Well, hello, folks, and welcome. Jim Weitsch along with you. We're at our home away from home, and Don, I'll tell you what, it has to be said that Jeanette Lee came into this one a decided favorite, didn't she?
She did. Jeanette just came off probably the most important win in her career so far. That's the World Games in Akita. She won that event just a couple of weeks ago. So definitely she's on the up. Ava has not been in a TV match for 4 tournaments now. So, you know, but with these two players, they're both great players, and there really isn't that much of a difference between their play. So it's just that mental edge, I think, that Jeanette has in this game more than anything.
6-ball down off the break, but it is all on the day, isn't it? The best player doesn't always win. It's the best player at that moment in time. And Jeanette Lee wants to be the best player.
Yeah, she has the 1 here, so she does have a shot. And the 2 is down here. There's a 7 blocking this pocket. But the 7 is pretty close, so she could probably play a combination. We have the 5-ball out in the middle of the table there by the 9. I think that's going to be a problem. So she's going to try to clear that at some point. Now she's going to have to probably play the 2 into there and maybe get the cue ball to break these out at the same time, just like that. That was an awesome shot.
2 and 1 there. Developed the 5 in the center of the table, and now everything at her mercy.
Right. Now a little bit of a distance here to get back from the 3 to the 4. The 2's easy. That's right in the pocket. It's the position from the 2 to the 3 so that she can get back to the 4 the correct way.
Well, Jeanette obviously not happy with that one. And, just to give you an idea of the playing conditions, the lay of the land as it will, this beautiful Montebello table is generously supplied by Brunswick Billiards. They're universally regarded as the leaders in manufacturing top-class tables and billiard accessories. And Jeanette controlling that cue ball on a string right now, and they're playing on a Simonis 860 tournament cloth. Balls that are rolling around that table, again supplied by Brunswick. Centennial balls, tournament balls. And when they're all racked up, Don, they're racked up with the Sardo tight rack.
Yeah.
A perfect rack every time.
Wow, the crowd just loved that bang shot in the 3. Now she left herself a little bit of an angle. See, she has to cut it in here. Her next ball is the 8. The direction the cue ball is going to go is this way. So I see her either coming all the way around if she wants to really stroke it, or she could try to play the cue ball here and pocket the 8 in the side. There's lots of ways that she can get position on this ball because it's out in the open. And that was one way to be creative. Probably not her best way because there's a funny angle going on. She's going to have to jack up to try to avoid the scratch in the corner. That's what she wants to do, either put inside English or some way avoid that scratch. It's pretty close for comfort, wouldn't you say, Jim?
Yes. Looking business is Jeanette Lee right now, and on the cusp of a 2-0 lead. It's in the bank now. Jeanette Lee opens accounts with the first 2 racks here in Sandia Casino, and I'll tell you what, she is all business out there. 2-0 over Ava Mattia Lawrence.
2 games to nothing.
While we have a moment, let's look at our top finishers brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. 5th and 6th, a very respectable tournament for Lori John Jones and Elena Thornfeld. Lori, nice to see her back in form. In 7th, 8th, Vivian Villarreal and Laura Smith. And 9th to 12th, Gerda Hofstetter, Lina Jorsvik, Jennifer Chen, and Belinda Campos. From all over the globe, they finished 9th to 12th. Well, if Ava Mattia Lawrence didn't know Jeanette was in fine form, she does now. She's 2-0 down, and Jeanette is breaking off in game number 3. Just zeroing in on that one ball.
Oh, it almost went in the side. She's trying to find her speed to play the 1 in the side. Did not make a ball. The 1 is up here. The 2 is kind of stuck in between the 8 and the 4, but it does have a pocket. If she can play the 1 and get the cue ball back down in about the same spot that it's at now, Ava will be fine to start this run out.
Earlier, I had a chance to catch up with Ava Mattia Lawrence, and she's been working with the new coach, a legendary one, in fact.
I have. Mike Siegel's been my hero for many, many years. Before I moved here from Sweden, I would read stories and hear stories about Mike Siegel. So to be able to work with him has been great. He knows probably more about pool than any living human, and I'm trying to pick some of that up.
Beautiful.
Key to success there, she stayed very still.
Now the 5 is up along the rail. If you can see the 7, well, in a minute you'll see the 7, but she'll play the 5. The 6 is okay. It's the 7 that I'm concerned about. I'm not quite sure what she's going to be able to do there for that.
And with the TV lighting and everything playing just a little different than these girls would have been accustomed to leading up to the semifinal. An adjustment.
Right, because by the lights coming in and the room heating up with all the people in the room, it really does change the way that the cloth plays. So the speed gets a little bit off, or your angles tend to get just slightly off.
And I think you just saw a miss that was manufactured more by a lack of table time than anything else. She really hasn't had a chance to get a feel for the conditions out there, and obviously she's suffering right now.
It almost looked like, Jim, what did you think, that she was trying to break open that 9 and 7 that I was talking about? Maybe she took her focus off the shot a little bit, and to think about that, and that is definitely not something you want to do.
You know, I have to try and limit movement of the cue ball. Keep everything simple. That usually equates to success in this game.
Okay, now she's looking to see if maybe she can go and break those 2 balls open. I don't believe the 7 goes up in the corner. I could be wrong. It's hard to tell from up here.
I wondered when she was going to look at the 7-9 because I'm right behind it and it's close.
Yeah, the other thing, if she could get behind the 7-9, then she might be able to play the 7 somewhere, but we'll see what she has, what type of shot she's going to come with. A safety is an option. If she can't make it up the corner, she could just stick the cue ball right behind the 9 ball.
I think that's what she's going to do, Don. She's going to try and leave Ava in the tall grass here. Just hold the cue ball right behind the 9. Oh, it went. It was wide open.
We couldn't see that definitely from here.
Now a little left-handed action.
Jeanette actually plays excellent left-handed pool, so I'm kind of surprised that she's taken the bridge, probably because she doesn't want to reach over the table that much. But she is very good at playing left-handed. Maybe you'll get to see some of that during this match.
You like to be looking at 9 balls like this to win frames. And the 9's down, Jeanette Lee. It's all one-way traffic at the moment, and it's heading Jeanette Lee's way. 3-0 in this race to 7 over Ava Mattia Lawrence. We've had a wonderful time here at the Sandia Casino. Tons of amenities, from the live music to the great food. It really is a fantastic entertainment facility, and as they say, far from ordinary. Well, our tournament director, Steve Tipton, just putting the balls into the Sardo tight rack. You'll see him squeeze on those levers. A perfect rack each and every time with the Sardo tight rack. And as yet, Jeanette Lee is the one that's been benefiting from that break. She's the one initiating everything.
Yeah, she is definitely taking a hold of this match. Ava had an opportunity in the last rack. That's going to play on her mind a little bit. Speaking of minds, both of these players up to this tournament have been working mostly on the mind game. Both of them have trained somebody helping to train them, or working with a person to help them with their mental focus and trying to get motivated for practice and all that. Okay, here we go with the 1 ball is right here. The 2 ball is down here. Really tough situation because the 8 is blocked. I'm sorry, the cue ball is over here, but the 8 and the 9 are in the way. If she did pocket the 1 and come over, she's got a lot of traffic in the middle there, so I would say a safety would have been my choice, but you know, that's why I'm up here. And she just shot that perfect and got position.
You don't miss many from the commentary box, Don.
Well, this position, to get that position was really tough. There was a small window in there for her to make it. She did.
That's just how confident she is right now. Scoreline already 3-0, and she's looking good value to increase it to 4. A nice angle to bring the cue ball back up for the 4 ball.
Did you see how just making 1 or 2 balls open that table up? It looked very cluttered, and now all of a sudden everything looks opened up. All she has to do is come around, play the 4 in the corner. She could have played it in the side if it came a little too far, so there were a couple of options. Now everything's open. Just make sure to get a good angle after she shoots the 4, because the 7's on the rail. 5 is next, then the 7 comes after that. You're always thinking 3 balls ahead.
This event has been very well received, and I know that the Women's Professional Billiard Association is delighted with the sort of turnout from the crowd.
Yeah, the people here have been wonderful to all the players. Left herself a great angle. Jeanette is definitely, she just came from a back operation in June. That was not very long ago, and for her to come back and be on top of her game, to win the World Games, which is a historical event. That was the first time that billiards had ever been into the world event. Only a couple of months after her operation is just incredible.
Almost unheard of.
Yeah, this girl has a lot of desire to win. She's been working with Jerry Bryceff she went and spent a week, and she said that is the main reason that she won the World Games.
Steady as a rock, a break and finish for Jeanette Lee, and she forges further ahead of Ava Mataya Lawrence. 4-0 now the score, and Jeanette in total command. scoreline, and she gets all set to crack into them here. The break, a massive weapon in 9-ball. It's like having a big serve in tennis or a long drive in golf. And when you're clicking on all cylinders with a good break off, Don, you control everything.
Yeah, she had a few servers, but she did not come up the way she wanted to on that. The 1 ball is here, the 9 is here, so she made a face because it could be a very quick game here.
And they've already eyeing up that 1-9. A lot of distance between the 1 and 9.
Yeah, but this is what she needs. This is the thing that she needs to get going, because sometimes in a match, if you have a little fortunate situation come up and you take advantage of it, it changes the whole match around.
The 9 parked into the corner pocket. They always say the toughest ones to win are the first and the last. And Ava Mataya-Lawrence has just gotten half of that equation. And look at her. How does she feel about taking that first game?
She's got a big smile. Look at this. This is the shot that I was talking about, to take advantage of the situation. Now, totally different attitude on her face. She was a little bit slumped before, but watch this. She sat and she fired it in just like she knew it was going.
How do you spell relief, Don?
9-ball.
Yeah, that was just what the doctor ordered for Ava.
4 games to 1.
I think you're
Racing
going to see
7.
a different Ava Mataya-Lawrence now. She's got that first one secured. 4-1 the score. And she's all set to break off now in game number 6.
And unlike Jeanette, Ava has made 2 balls on the break. And did she get a shot? The crowd is going wild here because obviously there's some Ava fans in the audience.
Well, they want to see a close one.
The 1's here by the 3. Well, even if she couldn't see to cut the 1 in, she can carom off the 1 and make the 3 and still have a shot on the 1 in the corner pocket. She doesn't want to scratch, though. Don't follow the cue ball in. Perfect. Okay, has an angle on the 1. The 4's down here. That's okay, because if she draws the cue ball over to this way, since the angle is going to make the cue ball go that way, she can pocket the 4 in the corner where she's standing now. Stay focused, Ava.
She didn't get into that the way she would have liked.
No, she was afraid to put a lot of draw, and I think she was just trying to make it and, you know, stay focused. Maybe like we were talking earlier, the cloth's a little different than she's used to, and she thought she had the right amount of draw or low English on it and came up a little short. So I'm looking to see a safety here. Probably bank the 4 up at the other end of the table, put the cue ball back by the 5 and 9 if she can hold it down there. Just leave something in between those 2 balls. Oh. Did she get it? Awesome. That was wonderful. See, now the only rails that Jeanette has is to go really 3 rails this way. That's pretty much the only kick that Jeanette has right now, I think. Unless she can put a lot of masse and come here. I can't see how close she is to that 8 ball. Maybe not close enough.
She might well have done better to take your advice, because that was a tall order to try and squeegee that cue ball past the 8 to get to that 1 cushion. Now, the platform is set here for Ava. But when you're 4-1 down, you're the one that's under the pressure.
Right, she's taking her time for sure. She doesn't want to mess up. It's really a pretty open table. It's it's funny how when you have ball in hand, that first ball, that's where most people make their mistake in position, is in that first shot. I think they're thinking so much about where they want to be. Okay, now she can either draw the cue ball up the table and play the 6 in the side, or follow it and play the 6 in the corner. She decided to draw it up, play the easy shot in the side. Very good move. Now, like I said, Ava's been working on her game also on the mental side, and she said that that has been the biggest increase in her game in the past few weeks. She went down to Florida to work with Mike Siegel, who's a great male player, as you know. And obviously, she said that he has basically gotten her back to feel like she's supposed to win, not just show up and play the tournament.
Self-belief and concentration play such a big role to be successful in this game at this level. And look at the 9 confronting Ava right now. To the bottom of the pocket. And
4 games to 2, 4-2.
4-2 she trails Jeanette Lee right now. And we'll be back with more action from Sandia Casino here in Albuquerque. Well, delighted to be with you. And another top player has made her way up to the comm box here, and Vivian Villarreal. And Vivian, you lost to Ava, didn't you, in the earlier rounds? So are you kind of rooting for her to go through?
Yesterday when we played, the break was working for her. And in this sport now, with the caliber of play, you know, it's very important is the break. And if it's going to work for you, it's going to work for you. And we were tied up back and forth. And I missed a crucial shot to make it 5-5, and it cost me the match. But she's playing well, and as I can see here, Jeanette's playing very well too, and the break's working for her. So, you know, her coming back from the World Games and her bringing back the gold medal, I think it's boosted her ego. So I think that's why she's playing so well.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the break for me has been the difference because Jeanette has seemed to get the measure of this table and quickly, and that's the reason she enjoys a 5-2 lead at this moment in time.
Well, she made the 1 on the break, and the 2 ball is here, so she's going to probably play a safety, putting the 9 and the 5, the 9 and the 3 and the 6 between those two.
Steve mentioned yesterday, I mean, the tables were kind of slow, but he says today, you know, that it's playing on glass. So it's a lot harder to get your speed down, so I think Ava's been struggling a little bit with her speed.
Well, and this brand new table and cloth just put out here for the televised stages and supplied very generously by Brunswick Billiards. They are universally regarded as the leaders in terms of pool table and
that's correct, and I have one too, so
well,
they
there
play
you
well.
go. So you can attest to that.
Yeah, that was a great hit. She didn't have a lot to work with there.
I think she got away with it too. I don't think she can see it. Or can she?
Yeah, Jeanette's getting down like she can see it.
This is a big moment, isn't it, right now for Ava? 5-2 behind. She doesn't want to lose this. This particular one had put her on the hill of going out, and just too much pressure.
So, Vivian, you played over in the World Games. How did you feel about all the excitement over there for billiards being in there the first time? And
well, I think it's a great honor that, you know, I was very fortunate that Jeanette and I were the ones who got chosen to play for Olympic gold medal. And I've always dreamed of playing for a gold medal, and hopefully, you know, with Jeanette and I going up there and her bringing back the gold, I hope, you know, it'll change the game for all of us, and hopefully it'll become a bigger sport. But the excitement, it was great. The bad thing is I lost my luggage, so I didn't have a good time. Had to play with my tennies and all, but other than that, I made the best of it. I did.
that's good.
Well, Jeanette's eyeing this one up. Just see enough to snick this one into the corner pocket.
Oh, wow.
Precious few mistakes, isn't she?
I mean, that's why she plays so well when it comes to her long shots and her position play, because of her straight pull. She plays great straight pull, you know, her being in New York and playing with the best, and she's a shot maker.
Well, here she's going to have to come with a shot. The 8 is in the way, right, for the angle for her to come back around the table.
Extension.
So we'll have to see. She took an extension because she really isn't quite sure what she wants to do here.
Yeah, she'll do nothing in haste. This massive crowd that's enjoying this. Lest we forget, oh, she's doing it quickly. Double parked outside. With this massive crowd, there's been an amateur event going on, and one of the sponsors of this particular event, the American Pool Players Association, the largest amateur association, in fact, in America.
She's going to be very hard to beat. She really is. But whoever wins here playing Karen Corr has a breakdown also. So and they're both great players. So it's going to boil down to the break.
Yeah, and Karen is the next one. Whoever wins this match here will go on to play Karen in the second semifinal.
Right. She's been struggling through the tournament. I watched a couple of her matches. She made a couple of unforced errors.
Well, the 9 down, Jeanette surges forward. I want to thank you, Vivian, for joining us. It was a real pleasure. Stay with Don Hopkins and I. There'll be more 9-ball action coming right back at you after the break. Our tournament director, Steve Tipton, just rolling the balls into that device. That is the Sardo tight rack. And he'll squeeze those handles, push down on those balls. They give you a perfect rack every single time. And Jeanette Lee now just 1 game away from forcing through to the second semifinal. Karen Corr waiting in the wings, and Jeanette Lee knowing that she's still got the all-important last game to win before she can confront Karen Corr. But 6-2, that's a useful lead, Don.
Sure is. It's a nice spot to be in. I'm sure that Ava would love to be in that spot. But you know what? I know Ava. I know that Ava is Vivian just walked out into the arena. She left our booth and walked out into the arena just to say hi to the crowd.
I thought she was resurrected from the losers bracket.
Okay. All the fun and games out of the way, now back to the office.
Yeah, what I was saying was that even though Ava is down 2-6, there have been many times in her career that she has come back from that deficit to win.
And look at that, Jeanette Lee nicely on the 2. This is an ominous sign for Ava Mataya-Lawrence.
This does not look good for Ava. Here's the 2, the 3 is open, the 4 is open, the 5 is probably the toughest ball because the 9 is blocking one pocket for the 5 and the 7 is blocking the other. But if she bumps it up, smart play. She just bumped that 5 and created a pocket. Took a little chance to get behind, snookered behind it so that she couldn't see the 3. See, it was tough. She's taken a breath, but she can see the 3 in the corner and come around 2 rails for the 4. Jeanette's okay here.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of movement there. She was up off the cue very quickly.
You know, she gave that heavy sigh like she really didn't want to shoot the 3. And she's made some really terrific shots in this game, but maybe she set the pace for herself there to miss it because she didn't have the confidence to make it for some reason.
Quite possibly the finish line was in sight.
Maybe you're right. That does happen.
The ever-elusive winning game. And Ava wants to push it further away from Jeanette.
And it can happen. Like I said, there's been many times in Ava's career, I'm sure, just as every player, where they've been way behind and come back to win. So they know it's possible. It's always in the back of their mind. That's why we never give up.
Well, in 9-ball, you can keep your opponent parked in their chair for a number of racks. You get that brake clicking, and you can repay the favor.
Great shot. Okay, here it is. The key ball with these 2 balls here. Draw the cue ball back. Make sure you don't not draw it enough or draw it too much. Perfect. Perfect.
This 9 to stave off elimination. Right into the heart of the pocket. Ava Mataya-Lawrence, unsung. 6 games to 3. She can afford no more mistakes. And we'll be back with more 9-ball action from the Sandia Casino after this break. There's the two principals in the semifinal. The girl on the left, Jeanette Lee, and coming to the table now, hoping to exude a little bit more pain. Joining me in the commentary box, Don Hopkins. And Don, we have seen a match that right now Ava is trying to turn back against Jeanette Lee. 6-3 the current score line. Ava not enjoying that, but she's still at the table. Ball in off the break.
2 balls in off the break and a possible shot on the 2 ball. See, the 2 is right here. What's scary for Jeanette is the 9 is right next to it. So if Ava cuts the 2 into this pocket, the cue ball could deflect, hit the 9, and maybe have a free chance in making that ball.
Real look of determination there.
This would be the time that she'd want it to happen. Well, it didn't, but she did get a free shot at it. An unfortunate roll here. Didn't end up with the shot on the 3. The 5 is in between the 2 balls, so Ava is going to have to kick at the 3 ball. It's too far away to jump. The 5 is too far away from the cue ball to use the jump stick. So she's going to have to kick one rail either this way behind it or coming up this way. It just depends on what angle she likes best.
She's just called for an extension. I think she knows the importance right now. She doesn't want this to be her last visit in this tournament.
When a ball is out in the open like this, it's really tough to play a kick safety. You don't have as much control over it. So really, you just want to whack the ball and hope you get lucky.
Will the pool god smile?
2 things that she's hoping for. First, to make this ball. Oh, unbelievable.
Hello, Dolly. Talk about pulling a rabbit out of your hat. Ava Mataya Lawrence. What about that shot? Check this one out.
That was the best shot so far this match.
Like a dagger through Jeanette's heart, that 3 found its way to the pocket.
I guess the pool gods were smiling upon her at that moment. And a nice shot on the 4. She's going to just slow roll the 4 in and play the 5 in the side pocket. Excellent.
Doesn't want to be too straight here, though.
No, she's okay, though. She's not too straight. She has a little angle. Probably going to have to see where the cue ball is right now. She's probably going to have to come back to that same area if she can't play above the 6.
These are the moments, Don, when all those hours of practice come into play.
Now that is a pure confidence shot right there, because she had to put a lot of right-hand English to spin the cue ball up above the 6, like I was mentioning. Better to take a shot like this on the 6 than to be behind the 6 shooting it all the way down the rail in the other corner.
Well, that was struck with a lot of confidence, just trying to get that cue ball away from that side cushion.
Now here's a real tester. It's not an easy shot by any means. You have the side pocket to deal with, position. She just really needs to stay down on the shot. Excellent. I think the adrenaline's giving her an extra kick here.
She's taken the last 2 games to pull back to 6-4. Ava Mataya Lawrence back in the hunt here in the semifinals. And we'll be back as this one plays to an end. Stay with us. The WPBA Fall Classic is brought to you by the Sandia Casino, Albuquerque's premier casino. Sandia Casino, far from ordinary. And by Brunswick Billiards, since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. And the Sardo Tight Rack, giving you the tightest rack possible each and every time. Game number 11. 6-4, finally poised, and that lady, the lady in focus right now, Ava Mattia Lawrence. And Don Hopkins along with me here. You've got to be impressed. She didn't throw the towel in at any time.
No, she didn't. Like I said before, you're never out until that last 9 ball goes down. Watch, she's going to control her break.
Needs one down. No friends.
I think the thing that I'm surprised that she did there, where she didn't make a ball and that break the last time, maybe, you know, you should really move to another spot on the table, and I'm kind of surprised she didn't do that. Jeanette doesn't really have an open shot on the 1. She's going to play a safety, bring the cue ball down to the opposite end of the table. There's a lot of balls in the middle there. There's some distance between that cue ball and the 1. She can see straight to it. Now it's just a choice. If she plays the 1 to go into the pocket, the cue ball will naturally come back down this way and the 2's back down there. So it's kind of like a two-way shot, because if she misses, you have all these balls in the middle to protect you. It's just very hard to control because the cue ball is on the rail. It's frozen on the rail, so you can't get the tip of your cue stick to put any low English on it. You can only really put very high English.
And this is what, when you've got cueing at a premium like this, again, a very steady stroke required. Head still. A lot of balls to try and hide that 1 behind. How's she done?
That was really tough. Left her straight in. Very straight in.
And I think that long, lonely walk back to the chair really says it all for us. She's wondering if she's going to get another chance. After the shot that Ava pulled out earlier, I think Jeanette Lee now, sensing the urgency, will probably want to close this one out or give it her best shot to close it out.
Yeah, she knows that Ava's pumped up. If she makes a mistake, Ava's likely to capitalize. This may be the mistake that Ava's looking for. You know something, I think just watching where the pockets are big enough really to you can do what's called cheat the pocket. And if you play it to one side, the cue ball wouldn't roll as far as if you played the object ball into the other side, it would roll. And I think that's what happened there, is she overcut it and the cue ball went faster. Made a nice kick, but again, Ava's at the table with a shot on the 3, very difficult shot. She's back on the rail with the cue ball. She can't really put her hand on the table and get a nice clean stroke the way you want to. See, she's got to jack up her cue stick a little bit, which is not really what you'd ideally like to do. Let's see if she gets a little roll. It's a roll enough that Jeanette doesn't have a pocket to put that 3 in.
She got away with that miss. I was right down the line on that one, Don, and that was close. There was barely enough room for her to be able to see that 3 to pocket it.
Jeanette's going to have to play a lock-up safety here. Did she lock it up enough, or did she leave an edge of the 3? Only Ava's eyes are going to be able to see that from here, because it's too close for me or you to call, I think.
I threw my eyes away a long time ago.
She thins it. She
Watch out, cue ball.
Oh, no, not this way. Oh. Well, there's one saving grace here for Ava. The 6 and the 7 are tied up. And the only thing that I can think of is if Jeanette breaks them open before she gets to the 6, somehow with the 5, come in with the cue ball and break them open. The other thing that's possible is that if she gets behind the 6, the 7 may go up in the corner here. So we'll just have to see how this all unfolds. Now that was a very odd choice, I think.
You know something, Don? She just didn't play that with enough conviction. If she was going to try and develop the 6 and the 7, she should have played it with a little bit more pace to keep that cue ball in the center. I mean, that was left to risk a little bit.
I think she really wasn't confident in her placement of the cue ball.
Oh, it's gone. There was a fly on the ball.
They have a friend out there. It's a little fly. It's bothering the players. That happens every once in a while. The fly's attracted to light, and there's plenty of light up there. Stay down on the shot, just draw back. Oh, wow, she made it. Now, here's a little funny thing, too, because there's such an angle on this cut that the cue ball is going to come in this way, possibly go off of the 9, because she's going to play the 5 in this pocket. Well, when she does that, if she runs into these 2 balls, she's really not confident on what's going to happen after that, like exactly where the balls are going to go, whether she's going to get a shot or not. So we'll see what pot luck comes out here. See that, how she went into it, and she ended up perfect. This was it. That was a winning shot right there.
Well, the crowd certainly thinks so. But she did throw it up in the air, didn't she? She's just called for an extension. Now, nice angle on the 6 to bring that cue ball back over the right-hand side of the table for the 7. This is just a matter of keeping those nerves in check.
That's right.
And letting that back arm do what it's done for countless hours. Has she cleared the 9?
Wow. Big, big mistake here.
Perfect.
I don't know. She says perfect. I guess she can pocket the 7, but that is a very, very lucky thing that just happened for her there. That could have been devastating. She's still not in position. She still left herself a little tougher on the 8 ball.
This is a big shot right now.
The cue ball wants to go this way on this shot. You have to put a real stroke to hit here and then come back here for the 9. She's the one to do it, though. She's got a beautiful stroke for the shot.
She stayed still on that. And quite possibly the best shot of the match for Jeanette Lee. And now this 9
I'll take my extension.
for a place against Karen Kaur.
Took her extension just to be safe. You know, she doesn't want to think about time on this shot.
It's there, and Jeanette Lee is through to the second semifinal. A game effort from Ava Mataya-Lawrence falls just short, and the Black Widow lives on. She'll confront Karen Kaur in our second semifinal, and it's high fives all around for Jeanette. Super shot of the match, sponsored by Brunswick Billiards, and what a shot it was. A little bit of magic from Ava Mataya-Lawrence.
Yeah, it didn't win the match for her, but it did get her rolling a little bit so that she won a few games. She just kicked behind it, hit it really hard, hoped to make something, hoped the Bulldogs were with her, and they were on this shot. Fired it right in center pocket.
Well, Don, I want to thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box. It was a real pleasure. And for Don Hopkins, I'm Jim White from the Sandy Casino here in Albuquerque. That's all. Accommodations for the luxurious Hyatt Regency Cabana Resort and Spa on New Mexico's Native American Pueblo of Santa Ana. This is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Watching some of the matches, and I was like,